teachers, and students. We, the Year 11s, are going to present a play, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Christmas Carol is the story of a grumpy old man, Ebenezer Scrooge, who discovers the joy of Christmas after being visited by three ghosts who show him his past, present, and future in different angles. A quick announcement before we start. The role of the spirit of Christmas yet to come, that was to be played by Asha Ratnam, is now being played by Ethan Thorne. Now, we will start with a prelude to bring in the Christmas spirit. Sit back and enjoy the show. It was bitterly cold, and the fog was thick as pea soup on that Christmas Eve of 1843, when Scrooge sat busy in his counting house with his clerk nearby, trying to warm himself at a candle. But since he didn't have much of an imagination, he failed.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle!
What?
I said, a Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug!
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Sure you don't mean that.
Of course I mean it. Merry Christmas indeed. For what reason do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come, Uncle. What reason have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Away with Merry Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time where you find yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and begged with a stick of holly to his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Nephew, Keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Lord, good has done for you.
Well, there are many things from which I have benefited, even if they didn't show a profit, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But if anything belonging to Christmas can be considered apart from its sacred source of its name and origin, I'm sure I have thought of it as a good time. A fun, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time of year when I know men and women seek by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and truly think of others as their fellow passengers to the grave. And therefore, Uncle, even though it hasn't put a single scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I'm sure it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
And now I'm going to argue and you keep your Christmas by losing your position.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see myself in hell first.
But why, Uncle?
Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did you get married recently?
Because I fell in love, of course.
Love. You fell in love. Good afternoon, nephew.
But you never came to see me before I got married.
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel, you and I, but I've come all this way to give you greetings of the season. But I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit.
Thank you, sir. A Merry Christmas to you.
There's another one. My clerk, working for 15 shillings a week with a wife and family, talking about Merry Christmas. I'll retire myself to bed.
Two solicitors enter, requesting Scrooge to donate generously to the prisoners and the poor in the workhouse. Scrooge refuses point blank to support these people. The solicitors leave disgusted.
You want all day tomorrow, I suppose?
If that is quite convenient, sir.
Of course it's not convenient. And it's not fair. You would take yourself as abuse if I were to hold back a crown for it. But you won't take me ill use if I were to pay a full day's wage without any work done.
But it's only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have it. Be here all the more early.
Oh yes, sir. I shall. I certainly shall. Hello, dear son.
Father, I've been waiting for you.
Let's go by Cornhill and watch the children play. Someday you will be there too, playing with them.
I feel that I'm getting stronger every day.
And do you remember what tomorrow is?
Christmas Day!
And I am to have the whole day off to celebrate with my family.
Hurrah for Christmas!
Oh, Scrooge, he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone he was, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner to be sure. Secret, self-contained, and solitary as an oyster. He carried his own low temperature with him everywhere he went. He iced his coffee in the dog days and didn't thaw it 1 degree at Christmas. Scrooge always took his melancholy dinner in the same melancholy tavern, and this night was no different. He read all the papers and beguiled the rest of the evening with his banker's book before he took himself home to bed. He lived in chambers which had once belonged to his deceased partner. They were a gloomy suite of rooms. It was old and dreary, for nobody lived in it but Scrooge, the other rooms being all let out as offices. Upon arriving in his chambers, Scrooge took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown, slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel, for he had a cold in his head. It was a very low fire indeed. Nothing on such a bitter night. He was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract the least sensation of warmth from such a handful of fuel.
How's this? What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Alright. Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
I won't believe it.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why? Why do you doubt your senses?
Because the little things affect them. Slight disorder of stomach can make them cheats. Nasty travel operation. Why do you come for me?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. Would you know the weight and length of the chain you wear? Long and heavy as 7 Christmas Eves ago. A ponderous chain.
Jacob, speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. Can go nowhere. Cannot linger. Cannot rest.
But you're a man of good business, Jacob.
Business. Human I was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance were all my business. Hear me. My time is nearly up.
I know, Jacob, but don't be so hard on me.
You have yet a chance of escaping my fate. A chance I have procured for you.
You were always a good friend. Thank you.
You will be visited by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance that you have mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the bus tomorrow at midnight when the bell tolls 1.
Can't they all come at once? And get it over with, Jacob?
Expect the 2nd, the next night at the same hour, and the 3rd upon the next night when the stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and for your sake, take care of what has passed between us.
Oh, humbug.
And so, Scrooge lay in his bed and thought and thought and thought it over and could make nothing of it. The more he thought, the more perplexed he was, and the more he endeavored not to think, the more he thought. Marley's spirit bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved within himself that it was all a dream, his mind flew back again, like a strong spring released to its first position, and presented the same problem to be worked all through.
Was it a dream then? A quarter past? Half past? A quarter to it? Ha! The hour itself and nothing else. Ah! Are you the spirit who's coming out of the about?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the spirit of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Perhaps you can turn down the light that accompanies you.
What? Would you so soon put out the light I give? Yours are the dark passions that would extinguish the light of truth.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend. Well, what brings you here?
Your welfare, of course.
I can't think of anything more conductive to my welfare than a night of uninterrupted sleep.
Your reformation, then. take heed. Rise and walk with me.
Good heavens! I know this place. I was a kid here. I was bred here.
Your lip is trembling. And what is that upon your cheek?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a pimple. One spirit, did me very good.
Do you remember the way, Ebenezer?
Remember it? I can walk blindfolded.
Strange that you've forgotten it for so many years.
The spirit takes Scrooge to his old schoolroom.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Poor boy. My mother died giving birth to my sister. Our father seemed to begrudge us more after that. I wish it was too late.
What is it?
No, there's just this kid who was singing a Christmas carol in front of my doorstep last night. I just wish I could have given him something. That is all.
Dear brother,
Little fan, you've grown.
I have come to bring you home, dear brother.
Home, little fan?
Yes, home for good and all. Father is much kinder than he used to be. He was in a pleasant mood just the other night, so I was not afraid to ask him if you might come home. And he said yes, you should. And he sent me to bring you. Ebenezer, Father has arranged an apprenticeship for you. You are to be a man and begin your career. You'll never have to spend another moment in this dreadful school. But first, we'll be together all Christmas long and then have the merriest time in the world.
Are you sure Father is ready to have me home?
Oh yes, I'm sure of it.
But where am I to be apprentice?
You will work for a wonderful man, Mr. Fezziwig, who keeps a warehouse. Now come.
Your sister died a young woman, but she did have a child, as I recall.
Yes, a son. My nephew. Fred Hellwell.
Your nephew, Ebenezer, the only family you have left.
Yes, that is true.
Come, Ebenezer, it's time to see another Christmas.
Fezziwig is seated at a high desk. Ebenezer is busy there too.
Do you remember this place?
Know it? I was an apprentice here. Look, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, old Fezziwig alive again.
You hold there, Ebenezer. No more work tonight, my boy. It's Christmas Eve. Life is too short for all work and no play. I say it's time for a party. Cheer up, Ebenezer.
Will do, sir.
It's such a small thing to make these silly people feel so much gratitude and joy.
Small thing.
Is it not? After all, what did he do, this Fezziwig? Spent a few pounds on a party? Does he deserve such praise as this?
Why, it isn't that spirit. Well, Mr. Fezziwig here has the power to make us happy or unhappy. He has the power to make our work pleasant or miserable, just by the way he looks at us and just by the way he addresses us. 1,000 such little things adds up until it costs as much as a fortune. And
What is it?
no, it's nothing.
Something, I think.
No, I just wish to have a word or two with my clerk. That is all.
Oh, Ebenezer, my time grows short.
This was not addressed to Scrooge or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again, Scrooge saw himself. He was a little older now, a man in the prime of life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of later years, but it had begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye, which showed the passion that had taken root and where the shadow of the growing tree would fall.
I know, it matters very little to you. Another idol has displaced me, and if it could make you as happy as I would have tried to do, I have no reason to cry.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
Now there's a double standard for you. The world speaks so vehemently against poverty, here it condenses pursuit against wealth just as harshly.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer. All your hopes have merged into the one single hope of eluding the disdain of others. I've seen your nobler virtues fall away, one by one, until nothing is left but the master passion, the pursuit of profit. It consumes you.
What then? Even I have grown wiser and more astute, my feelings towards you have not changed.
Neither, the promises you made were made when we were young and poor and happy to remain so until we could improve our fortunes with hard work and patience. But you've changed. You are not the same man. Tell me, if all of this had not happened, would you still seek me out and try to win me now, a poor, dowerless girl with nothing to bring to a marriage? Just as I thought, you may feel sad now, but I have no doubt that you will dismiss the thought of me very soon. As if you've awakened from a bad dream, may you be happy in the life you've chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you enjoy torturing me?
There is one more shadow we must see.
I do not wish to see it. Show me no more.
The ghost shows him two gentlemen talking. One of them has seen Marley dying, and Scrooge sitting all by himself, very, very alone in this world.
Spirit, show me no more. I do not wish to see no more. Conduct me home.
I told you, these are the shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Please, Spirit, I beg of you. Show me no more. I can bear no more. No more.
After this mighty struggle, if that can be called a struggle, Scrooge was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, and further, of being in his own bedroom once again. He barely had time to reel to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep.
Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge. Come here and know me, man. I am the spirit of Christmas present. You have never seen the likes of me before, eh?
No, never.
You've never walked forward with any of my elder brothers in these later years?
No, I don't think I have. Have you have many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for.
Grab hold of my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Where, pray tell, are we going?
You will see.
Have a particular flavor from which you sprinkle on the torch.
Yes, indeed. My own.
Does it provide for any given dinner for the day?
To any kindly given, to a poor one most.
Why to a poor one's most?
Because they needs it most.
Spirit, why do you, out of all the many beings above us, decide to grant these people with opportunities of innocent enjoyment?
I?
Well, you would deprive them of dining on the seventh day, when all the markets are closed. Often the only day when they were able to say to dine at all. Wouldn't you?
I?
You seek to close these markets on the seventh day, and it comes to the same thing.
I seek.
Forgive me if I am wrong, for it has been your name, or at least those of your family.
There are some upon this earth of yours whom claim to know us, and who do their deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, and selfishness, who are strange to us and all our kith and kin as though they had never lived. Remember this and charge their doings upon themselves, not us.
Oh, what's going into your precious father then? And your brother, Tiny Tim, and Martha? She wasn't this late last Christmas by half an hour.
Here I am, Mother.
Oh, Martha, how late you are.
I had a great deal of work at the wilderness last night, and a great deal to clear away this morning.
Well, it's okay. You're home now. Sit down and warm yourself. Your father should be home any minute now. Hi, Martha, hi.
But where's Martha?
I'm afraid she won't be coming home for Christmas this year.
What? Not coming for Christmas?
Here I am, Father.
Oh, here you are.
And did Tiny Tim behave himself in church today?
Oh, he did. As good as gold. And better. Somehow he gets so thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me on coming home that he hoped people in the church saw him because he was a cripple. And he thought it might be nice for people to remember on Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. But he's getting stronger every day. I just know it.
Martha, help me with the goose.
Such a goose, Father, such a we've never had before.
And now a toast. Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
I didn't know Cratchit had a crippled son.
I wonder why.
Tell me, Spirit, where the boy lives.
I see a seat vacant on the table, and a pair of crutches without a owner, carefully preserved. If the shadows of the future are not changed by the past, the child shall die.
No, no, that can't be true. Think what is that, Spirit?
If the shadows of the future are unaltered by the past, none other of my kind shall find me here. But what difference does it make? If the child is likely to die, then let him die and decrease the surplus population.
You use my own words against me.
Yes, indeed. So that perhaps you shall hold your tongue till you have discovered what the surplus population is and where it is. Perhaps in the sight of heaven itself, you have become less worthy than this man's child.
And now, dear ones, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast.
Founder of our feast indeed. I wish I had him here. I did give him a piece of my mind. And hope he had an appetite for it. It should be Christmas Day when one should be drinking the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man such as Ebenezer Scrooge. And no one knows him better than you do.
My dear, have a little charity.
Alright, I'll drink his health. For the day's sake and for your sake. But not for his. A long life to him. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I have no doubt that he will be very merry indeed.
To Mr. Scrooge, I think it's time for a song.
Christmas carol.